Tonight, we're going to read through the terms, we're going to go through the pictures, and then we're going to answer any and all questions we possibly can for you. Okay? Our county treasurer is here, our county attorney is here in case there's any questions that I can't answer. In the back is Gary Baxter, standing up, and Gary Curtis, the county attorney. Okay? So, having said all that, we don't want to keep you here any longer than we have to on a beautiful night like tonight, so we're going to work. RJ, go ahead.
Can you guys all hear me, or do you want me to use the microphone? You guys can hear me in the back? Okay. All right, first thing we're going to do, cover the sale 1 week from today. Same room. Registration is going to start at 6. The auction will start at 7. So make sure you get here early, because 7 o'clock we're going to start. Don't want to have you in line while we're starting the sale. You're on to the terms. Now I'm going to read through them. These are the real property tax foreclosure 2015 terms and conditions. General, number 1. I'm sorry, as you're coming in, we do have tax books up here. There is a piece of paper that goes with one of the lots on the far left side up here. We'll explain that when we get there. General, number 1, all properties at this auction have been foreclosed upon to enforce the collection of delinquent taxes under New York State real property tax law. The legal redemption period expired at 5 p.m. on January 16, 2015. Number 2, all properties are sold as is, where is, with ownership acknowledged by quitclaim or tax deed. The county will not furnish an abstract of title or title insurance. 2A, Crossroad Abstract Co. Company, pursuant to their contract with the county, will make title insurance available to purchasers of auction property. Title insurance requires an abstract of title. For further information and cost of title insurance or abstract work, please contact Mr. Matt Gage at, we give you their address and the number. 2B, New York State Real Property Tax Law, Article 11 provides that the tax foreclosure process cuts off all title and interest of the owner and also all other claims and liens, including mortgages and judgments. Recorded easements and right-of-ways are not cut off. Number 3, federal tax liens are covered by the Code of Federal Rules. The county notified the IRS of tax foreclosure on December 17, 2014, informing them that the 120-day federal right to redeem would begin and run on January 17, 2015 and would expire May 19, 2015. Number 4, each purchaser will be required to sign a legally binding property bid acknowledgement form for each purchase which commits the purchaser to compliance with all terms and conditions as stated herein. Number 5, all property bids and purchase memorandums are subject to confirmation by the Ontario County Board of Supervisors. Number 6, any promotional tools such as photographic slides, tax maps, written or verbal descriptions, etc. are for informational purposes only. The seller neither guarantees nor warranties anything as to location, dimension, parcel use, or size. It is the sole responsibility of the purchaser to determine the legal and or physical fitness of the property. 6A, the County of Ontario makes no warrant or representation with respect to the condition, physical existence, location, acreage, existence of improvements or buildings, intended use of or accessibility to the property described. No county employee or agent has any authority to make any promise or representation of any nature concerning any parcel. 6B, it is the sole responsibility of the prospective buyer to contact local town or village offices for any zoning, building, or planning restrictions. 6C, the County of Ontario does not make any representation that any buildings or other improvements on the property or their use comply with federal, state, or municipal law, regulations, or ordinances. 6D, no representation is made by the County of Ontario as to riparian or littoral rights, access to or use of waterways or lakes. Number 7, certain premises offered for sale may be occupied by former owners or squatters without the consent of authorization of the County of Ontario. After delivery of a quitclaim deed, the purchaser assumes all responsibility for obtaining possessions of the premises, including any necessary eviction proceedings. Anybody have questions on the first page of the terms? Yes, sir.
Yes, you said that any tax liens are not extinguished and that they would expire on May 19th. So what happens if you buy a piece of property on May 13th and there's tax liens?
Mr. County Attorney, the question was, says that on May 19th, the tax lien expires. What happens if they purchase it on the 13th?
If the IRS decided to exercise it, we always know by now. We haven't heard from them, and actually haven't verified when we got federal tax liens on any of these. But if in fact there was a purchaser, and if after that the IRS came in, the purchaser would be made whole. They would get all their money back.
Okay. So answer in sum, at this point, there is none. If it does happen, you'll get your money back. Any other questions on the first 7 of the terms? If not, we're gonna flip the page. No, you're about 4 pages ahead of us. Right there. Okay. All right. Number 8, no title to any personal property is conveyed. The County of Ontario makes no representation regarding the removal of or title owner of any personal property and will no way be responsible or liable for the removal of personal property or questions regarding title to any personal property. Number 9, in the event that the sale or transfer is canceled by court order or judgment, the successful high bidder shall be entitled only to a refund of the purchase money. Purchaser shall not be entitled to special or consequential damages, nor attorney fees, nor for any expense incurred as a result of ownership or improvement of the property, nor for taxes paid during the period of ownership. Number 10, risk or loss of damage by fire, vandalism, or any other cause, except taking under the power of eminent domain between the time of the sale and the time of deed delivery is assumed by the purchaser. Excuse me. Number 11, in the case of any parcel where the high bidder or the county has factual basis for environmental concerns, the county may extend the closing deadline to allow the high bidder to conduct an environmental investigation. The high bidder shall inform the county in writing of the environmental concerns and shall retain appropriate professionals approved by the county to conduct investigation. Number 12, all potential bidders must show acceptable identification for issuance of a bidder number. Number 13, all buyers must register for the auction and hold a buyer's number. Number 14, all decisions regarding bidding disputes shall remain completely within the auctioneer's discretion. Number 15, the auctioneer retains the right to reject any bid that is not within the current bidding increments or that is not an appreciable advancement over the preceding bid. 16, the auctioneer and the seller shall remain forever immune from any and all liability concerning any personal injury or property damage occurring before, during, or after the auction, no matter what the cause. Additionally, the auctioneer and the seller shall remain forever immune from the consequence of purchase of any property at this auction. Before we get into the financial part, anybody have questions on 8 through 16? Yes.
Paragraph 11, does that include, for example, a black mold?
Number
Is
11?
that considered environmental?
No.
No.
No. The question was, is number 11 the environmental concerns? Does that include black mold? The answer is no. Yes?
Can an attorney bid on behalf of a client?
Can an attorney bid on behalf of a client? Yes.
Would
If that was going to happen, we would have to have a
Power of attorney form?
power of attorney form
Signed
filled
power
out.
of attorney?
I
Okay.
would recommend that, and I would recommend that you give them a limit to how high they can bid. That's up to you, though. What I'm saying is that if you give him a cap, give him a wider range, but at least you don't end up with a property that you paid an extra $50,000 for that you told him not to
So
bid.
if he gives me a blank check, is that works too, a signed blank check, and then I just fill it out for the fees?
Sure.
Okay.
But a power of attorney form authorizing you to bid on that certain property on that certain day. Kind of identify it,
Right.
so it's not just a blank slate. Okay?
Any other questions? Yep.
Yeah, got it. Number 9, in the event the sale or is canceled by court or judgment, the successful high bidder shall be entitled only to a refund of the purchase money. What about the taxes you pay right there and that night?
Taxes, it
It
says,
said you're not gonna get them. That doesn't seem fair.
I don't make the rules.
All right. They would.
The taxes would be returned?
Yeah.
The taxes.
Mine won't be on anyone.
Everything you give will be given back. Okay?
Question was, on the night of the auction, if you pay the taxes in a situation in number 11,
Number 9.
number 9, I apologize, where the judgment goes and the sale is revoked, get your money back. In the back, there was a question?
So you're saying that I can't have a proxy bid for me and then have them do it in their name, and then before we close, they can authorize me to take over that sale, that purchase?
Yes, you can,
Okay.
but in order for us to do that, you have to have a power of attorney form granting A to B.
Let me,
Well, like
I
Gary
think
said.
this question was a little different than that.
My situation is, I want to bid on some properties, I'm gonna be out of town, I have someone in my company that's gonna come bid for me. They'll have the checks, they'll have the money, they'll just assign it over to me before closing.
Yeah, what, the person that's here and bidding has to be able, is gonna be responsible for whatever,
That's fine.
you know, so if the person in the business is fine. And then in terms of who the deed eventually goes to, that'll be whoever the successful bidder directs.
Okay, thank you.
I got a question on that.
I'm confused.
Are you going to take a third-party check? In other words, it's gonna be his check, but someone else bidding.
The person who's doing the bidding, absent a power of attorney, is gonna have to be fully responsible, so it would have to be their check.
Understand that? They have to bring their check, unless you have certified funds.
Yes.
Well, I would have certified funds and it would be signed and he'd just give you the check.
That's fine, okay,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is,
You
if,
take personal checks for this?
yes,
Oh, really?
drawn on New York State banks, but keep in mind, it's Joe that's coming to bid for you. It's gonna go in Joe's name, and the check's gonna say Joe on it. It's not gonna be your check. Okay?
And then you can assign.
You can pay him later, you can give him his money, or how you wanna do it, but make sure that everything is consistent. In other words, whoever's bidding, that's the name it's going in, and that's the check, the name on the check. We can't have a third-party check, and then later someone says, I didn't tell him to buy that. He's responsible for the entire event.
Gary, did you have anything else to say? Any other questions before we get to financial? Okay. Number 17, financial. Payment shall be made by cash, bank check, certified check, money order, business or personal check drawn on a New York State bank. Bank instruments must be made payable to Ontario County Treasurer. The purchasers are required to sign a transfer report form available at the Ontario County Treasurer's office and upon payment of the auction. The property transfer and closing process will be handled by the Ontario County Attorney's Office. You will need 2 payment instruments at this auction. 17A, the first property check must be made payable to the Ontario County Treasurer. 17B, the second recording fees check must be made payable to the Ontario County Clerk. Number 18, full payment of which includes current taxes due and recording fees must be made immediately at knockdown when the auctioneer says sold for any property sold in the amount of $5,000 or less. 19, payment for any property sold for more than $5,000 will include the amount of $5,000 plus 10% of the amount over $5,000 plus the recording fees and must be paid immediately at knockdown. 19A, remainder of the purchase price and current taxes due must be paid and received by the Ontario County Treasurer no later than 1 p.m. Friday, May 29th. And it gives you the address. 19B, payment may be deferred only upon due cause and prior authorization by the Ontario County Treasurer. 20,
Right there.
no, we gotta switch now. You're good. 20, if the necessary payments have been delivered to the treasurer's office and if the county has executed transfer report form and other information required above, the county will be able to record the transfer documents and complete the closing process on Friday, May 29th, or within a short time thereafter. If you have questions about this process, please contact the Ontario County Attorney's Office at 585-369-4411. 21, failure to close on the property or failure to pay the remainder of the purchase price, current taxes, and recording fee subjects the purchaser to loss of any and all deposit monies and all rights or claims to the property. Any questions on the financial part? Number 17 through 21. Yes, sir.
I got a question. Is this drawn New York State Bank? Do you have to have the bank physical in New York, or it could be a bank from another state?
New York State Bank. bank in New York.
The address on the bank check is in New York, and your address.
So it could be a bank from Texas and have the address from New York.
Oh,
Or the bank itself has to be located in New York.
bank has to
Bank
be
itself has
located
to be
in New York, okay? It can't be a Texas bank or a Canadian bank.
Any other questions on the financial part?
What's the 10% for?
10%. Number 19, the 10% above the 5,000.
Where's that going?
County treasurer?
It's just an additional deposit because the dollar amount of what you're purchasing is higher, okay?
What about your commission?
Whose? Yours.
There is no buyer's premium for this sale. The county is paying us. You just save 10%. Buyer's premium.
The
No
original
buyer's
question was on 19, above $5,000, what's the additional 10% for? Answer was because it's a higher amount of money,
It's
we
part of
need,
the bid deposit, and it's a credit against the purchase price.
so
Okay.
that's your goodwill faith that you're gonna finish the transaction. Whoops.
Anything under 5,000, we want it all. The numbers get higher, we only need 10% over that. Okay, so you're not strapped for a lot of cash that night.
Yes, sir.
You can pay for the property in full at the time of closing, right? You're not counting. You can
Are you
pay-
talking about if it was above 5,000?
Yeah.
Can you pay for it in full?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can pay in cash too.
RJ, there's one typo in the terms and conditions. The phone number for the county attorney's office is 396, not 369. 396,
So number 20.
under number 20.
Number 20, number is 585-396-4411. Any other questions on the financial part? All right, now we're gonna get into taxes. Number 22, the county will pay all delinquent taxes and charges up to and including all those appearing on the January 1st, 2013 town and county tax bill. This may include the following: 2013-14 village tax, 2013-14 school tax, 2014 town and county tax, special district charges levied and included in these tax bills. 23, the purchaser will pay all of the following taxes and charges, including all interest and penalties if applicable, and if they have not been paid: 2014-15 village taxes, 2014-15 school taxes, 2015 town and county taxes. Current water, sewer, or other special district charges that have not been included in the tax bills will be the responsibility of the purchaser. Exemption chargebacks. There may be one or more exemptions presently applicable to the property. If so, there will be one or more future prorated exemption chargebacks levied against the purchaser. Purchasers are responsible to identify all utility providers and to notify them of the new owner status. 24, purchasers are responsible for all upcoming taxes. In order to avoid paying interest and penalties, the new owners should receive all tax bills. Purchasers are advised to immediately notify the appropriate village, school, and town tax collectors and all utility providers of the new ownership and the address where future tax bills are to be mailed. Contact the Ontario County Treasurer's Office at 585-396-4432, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a current listing of all tax collectors. Anybody have a question on the taxes? Yes, sir.
So you don't have to pay the taxes the night of the auction?
Yes.
Or you
The
do
ones
have
that-
to
the ones that are due.
The ones that are due.
And each parcel has how much you have to pay. You read the parcel.
Okay, right, on each one of those pictures,
Correct.
right.
Right,
So that has to be paid along with the price, the purchase price.
Yes.
correct.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Can this all be done with one check? So when you tally the number up, whatever it is, or there's two checks,
2 checks.
but that's gonna cover everything. So you can just, whatever the totals are, it's gonna be just with those 2 checks. There's not gonna be other stuff.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
We need
So
you to
that-
bring 2 checks. Anybody else have a question on the tax section? All right, up next, assessments. 25, the information booklet lists the 2014 assessments for each property. Bidders or purchasers with questions regarding assessed values or assessment practices are advised to immediately contact the assessor's office in the town in which the property is located. A current listing of all assessors is available at the Ontario County Real Property Tax Service Agency or by calling 585-396-4382, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Any question on the assessments? And some from last year, if you have a question about it, call them and ask them. Next, auctioneer's notes. This is from us. Catalog has been assembled by Auctions International as a guide to help you decide which properties you would most likely be interested in. The properties will be sold in order that they are listed. Please call our office at 1-800-536-1401, extension 110, with all questions about the auction process. That's me. So if you have questions, call me. Accuracy is not guaranteed. We try our very best to provide the most up-to-date information regarding the properties listed in this catalog. But this information is provided solely for the convenience of all potential bidders. It is up to you, the bidder, to do the research on the properties you are interested in. We have talked to bidders after prior sales. They have told us that they would have bid higher. However, they were hesitant because they really didn't know the property. Take the time to inspect. Please read the updated terms and conditions thoroughly. If there will be updates, you will know about it. Property's final redemption date was on January 16th, 2015, unless removed as a legal proceeding. Please visit our website to verify all the properties, auctionsinternational.com, including any properties that have been withdrawn. On May 13th, registration will start at 6 p.m. Please get there early to register. The auction starts at 7 sharp. If you come late, you will be standing in line waiting to register while the auction is in process. And that last section you guys all know because you're here. Any questions before we start getting into the actual properties of the auction? Any additional comments from the county? All right.
Actually, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Current owners bid?
Can current owners bid?
Yes.
Yes. Any other questions? All right. Let's go to our first lot.
How am I doing so far?
You're doing good. First lot. It's in the town of Bristol. It's on County Road 32. Tax ID is there for you. This is in the Bloomfield School District. It's assessed at $900. For those of you who go to check it out, where that sign is exactly 50 feet from the cemetery property. So that sign is dead center of the property. So if you go up to County Road 32 where it is, it's right before the cemetery. Any questions on lot 1? All right, lot number 2. This is town of Bristol, known as 4758 Morrill Hill Road. It's in what school district? Okay. It's a cottage type home. Total assessment is $17,000. Land assessment $8,900. Taxes due upon purchase $504.19. Small little property, nice little house. Need some work, do your homework, look at it. The house number is marked on the mailbox. The mailbox is like this. So it's there. Any questions on lot number 2? All right, up next. Lot number 3. This is in the town of Candice. It is on 5869 Candice Lake Road. Sits on 2.9 acres. Total assessment is $156,500. The land assessment is $15,800. Taxes due upon purchase, $4,633.68. Very nice looking 2-story cabin, right across the street from a water body. I don't know what it is. Canada's Lake would make sense. Not sure about water rights. That's definitely something you have to talk. Imagine there's probably none, but it's beautiful right on the lake. There was still snow there when we went.
I think that's all private, Canadian.
Yeah.
Read the deed. Go read the deed. You might find it has water rights. We have a right to put a pier out there.
Candidice is a water supply for the city of Rochester. You're not allowed to have boats on it or have its own.
Oh,
You can't. It's just a local thing. You guys, if you're not from here, you wouldn't know that.
okay, thank you.
Candidates Lake is now owned by the state. The city turned it over to the state. It's, has no development on it, and it's open to the public.
There you go. Thank you. And there's 2 pages of pictures of it. Neighbors are very nice. When we took the pictures, they came out and said hi. Any questions on lot 3? We are on to lot 4. It's Town of Candidice, County Road 37. It's roughly 2 acres. Assessed at $8,400, taxes due upon purchase, $255.50. 2 acres of vacant wooded land located behind house number 6953. House is landlocked, or the land is landlocked. So if you got a helicopter, perfect place. Current property owners around it were notified, so they may be at the sale as well. Any questions on lot number 4? All right, lot number 5. Town of Canandaigua, 5540 Purdy Road. Total assessment, $27,000. Land assessment, $19,500. Taxes due upon purchase, $557.41. It's gray double wide with brown shutters with an outbuilding in the rear. Questions on lot number 5?
Is this in a park or on its own land?
I believe it's on its own land.
You would think so from the lot.
Mhm.
From the lot, the way the lot's laid out.
Anybody have any other questions on lot 5? Up next, lots 7 and 8. Known as 4568 Maiden Lane, Town of Gorham. Total assessment for the home, $37,300. Total land assessment, $13,000. 7 is the house, 8 is the land next to it. It's going to be sold together for one bid price. Taxes due upon purchase for the house, $1,234.65. Taxes due upon purchase for the vacant land next to it, $314.29. Any questions on 7 and 8? Well, up next, lot 10. Lot 10, Town of Hopewell, Standpipe Road. It's about 3 acres, located to the left of the White Water Tower and to the right of the railroad tracks. Total assessment, $35,000. Total land assessment, $22,100. Taxes due upon purchase, $1,272.45.
Any questions?
Questions on the Shortsville Waterworks? Nope. Next one, lot number 11. Lot number 11, 380 State Route 21, Town of Manchester. Excuse me. Total assessment, $51,200. Land assessment, $12,400. Taxes due upon purchase, $2,375.25. Gray Ranch, white trim, 1-car attached garage. Questions on lot 11? Up next, lot 12. Village of Naples, 16 Vine Street. Total assessment, $89,900. Land assessment, $7,800. Taxes due upon purchase, $3,724.87. It's a 1-story blue house with orange shutters and a porch in the rear, located in the wine country, nice neighborhood. I believe this house is right by where I had lunch that day. Any questions on that? Up next, lot 13. Lot 13 is Town of Naples, 7653 County Road 33. Total assessment 28,600, land assessment 28,500. 11 acres wooded land